Hey guys, I'm here with Servpro Monrovia, where we handle all of your restoration and cleanup needs. This video, I wanted to talk to you guys about all the specialty items and equipment that we use here for all the projects and jobs that we get along the way. So let's start off by, this guy here. He is a dehumidifier, and he does exactly as his name implies. He dehumidifies the air. Now, what does that mean exactly? So he's going to make the air less dehumidified. So the way it works is we'll use these for any sort of water losses or any mold jobs that we have where it requires us to dehumidify the air. He's really handy because he can be used in very versatile situations, whether it is a water loss or maybe we're not sure it might be a mold job. We can use him for those kind of items or those kind of special projects in those kind of cases.
Start.
Alright, so that's the dehu. You should name it dehu for short. Over here we have our air movers, and that's exactly what they do. They move the air. Now, they're really just fans is what they really are, but they're the most basic equipment that we have here. We use them only for water losses. If they're a category 3 water loss, which means like sewage, black water, we only want to use it for that. Or anything that may be mold. We won't use them for that because it's going to do more harm than good. This one is our flat one. We use it for more the flat surfaces. If we're trying to dry out baseboards with drywall, we use him. This guy here is our squirrel fan. And the name kind of implies it's a little weird, but it kind of looks like a squirrel if you guys can see it. We use him for any areas that we're trying to get that are a little bit harder to reach, maybe like the ceiling, cracks and corners, those kind of areas. We will be using the squirrel fan for those specialty areas. But these ones are only for category 1 water losses, which is going to be clean water. Maybe it's from the sink, the washer hookup, refrigerator line. That's going to be the only reason why you're going to see these guys.
Start.
Alright, so these are the air movers. We talked about that. Now these guys up here, these big green box things that you see up here, they're called hydroxyls. And what we use hydroxyls for are any sort of smoke or fire losses. And what it does is it looks like a fan, but in reality what it is, it's a fan with a filter. And so the way it works is there's a filter, just like you see here. We put a filter through the fan here, and it'll filter out all that smoke, ash, soot that you get from a fire or smoke loss. And what that does, it helps eliminate that very barbecue-y kind of 4th of July firework kind of smell that you would get from those kind of losses. These guys are great for those situations, and it kind of emits this very cool blue light that you see from it. That's how you know it's really doing its job. Those are for only smoke and fire losses that you'd be seeing those guys. So speaking of smoke and fire losses, we got what's called here a chem sponge. Now it looks like an ordinary sponge, right? But in reality it isn't. It's a chem sponge. And what we use this guy for is, just as I mentioned before, any smoke or fire losses. Now what this does is we use it to clean and test for smoke, soot, or ashes. The way it works is we'll rub it onto a surface, whether it's a wall, a countertop, or whatever it may be, any sort of hard surface. We'll rub it on there, and if you see a black line that goes through the part where we marked it at, that's how you know you have smoke and soot or ash damages. So this is a good indication. Insurance companies will like to see this for proof or evidence that there have been damages. So we got plenty of them. They're very specialty item. They're very expensive item, but they're very useful when it comes to those kind of losses. So speaking of all that, when we're talking about smoke and cleaning air, we have this guy here, which is a fogger. Now, when you think of a fog machine, you think of maybe like Halloween, right, or having a good party or something like that. Well, we don't necessarily use it for that. What we use it for, it can be used for multiple different things. But we've been using it for the past year with COVID going on and everything that's been happening. We use it for our proactive and sanitizing services. The way it works is we will pour in our antimicrobial chemicals that we use to kill bacteria, funguses, anything like that. We'll pour it into this guy, and it'll disperse out to the area, whether it's a home, business, office space, industrial area. It'll disperse out all into the area, and it'll help clean and sanitize the areas that it touches. It's a very effective tool to use, and it's very fast and cost effective for our clients. Now, when we're talking about items, we have to talk about specialty items. Now, we sometimes will use the latest and greatest in technology and innovation when it comes to some of these jobs. For instance, what we have here is called the injector dry. And what the injector dry does, is the name implies, it injects dry. We use this for very specialty products, but what it's used for is you cut a hole into the drywall and you insert the tubes into the drywall, and from there it's able to dry it in place. Now we use this for projects where we maybe not have the capacity or the cost effectiveness to be able to remove an entire wall. We can do this and we can dry the wall just as it is, like that. Insurance purposes, sometimes we like to use this, but it can also be used for self-pay and out-of-pocket claims as well too. So, very versatile item. Alright, so the last but not least is, as you can see, we're still working through our warehouse, our shop here as we like to call it. But this box here, doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on here, but there actually is. This is all of our moving supplies when we do what's called a pack out. Now what is a pack out? A pack out is any sort of time where we have to have there's a very large loss that occurred, whether it's on a home, office space, business, industrial space, whatever the case is, we do a pack out where we have to move everything out of the property in order for us to do our work. Now what it is we have all these moving supplies to do just as such. We can package up and take care of all the different contents or items that may be on the property, whether it's big furniture items with our moving blankets, boxes, bubble wrap, shrink wrap, maybe if we have silverware, diningware, those kind of things, chinaware, very expensive items. We'll be able to package it up very, very safely and make sure that nothing gets broken or damaged along the way. And then we can do our work, whether it's cutting drywall, performing mitigation work, whatever it may be, we'll be able to secure all your items and take care of it.